No Wi-Fi, no social media, no Google, YouTube, Netflix, or GPS, just silence. Imagine waking up tomorrow and the entire internet is gone for 7 full days. What would happen to the world and to you? Let's break it down. So, day 1, your alarm, maybe it's your smart speaker, doesn't go off, or it does, but the weather update is just static. You reach for your phone, a reflex as ingrained as breathing, and your messages won't load. That little spinning wheel of death, usually a minor annoyance, now feels like a harbinger of something much bigger. Apps are frozen, unresponsive husks of their former selves. That crucial work email you needed to send, it's just sitting in your outbox, a digital ghost. Across the globe, millions, probably billions, are experiencing this same dawning confusion. The first thought, naturally, is personal. My Wi-Fi is down, my phone's broken, did I forget to pay the bill? You restart your router, toggle airplane mode, maybe even give your phone a frustrated little shake, as if that would somehow jolt the global network back into existence. But it isn't just your Wi-Fi, it's everyone's. It's global. The realization, when it starts to trickle through, isn't immediate. It's a slow creeping dread. Panic then begins its insidious ripple. Think about businesses, especially small ones, that rely entirely on online platforms. Your Etsy store, your freelance graphic design portal, your online tutoring sessions, silenced. Online banking, the bedrock of so many daily transactions, is simply inaccessible. You can't check your balance, can't transfer funds, can't pay that bill that's due. Suddenly physical cash, if you have any, becomes king. People start forming tentative queues at ATMs, a sense of unease hanging in the air. And the stock markets, imagine the chaos, or rather the eerie lack of it. They'd be frozen, suspended in a state of digital limbo. By day 2, the narrative shifts. It's no longer my Wi-Fi is down. The collective penny has dropped, and it's a heavy one. This isn't a temporary glitch, a system reboot away from normalcy. This is a total blackout. The internet, as we know it, has vanished. The news, or what passes for it now, starts to spread through decidedly old school channels. Television, if the broadcast infrastructure is still holding up without certain internet-reliant components, becomes a focal point. Radio, that forgotten medium, suddenly finds a new, desperate audience. And of course, word of mouth, rumors, speculation, and the occasional piece of verified information traveling at the speed of human conversation. For the millions of remote workers, the reality is stark. Their livelihoods are, quite literally, offline. Zoom meetings, a distant memory, cloud services, those ethereal repositories of our collective work and data, gone. All those documents, spreadsheets, presentations, creative projects stored in the digital ether are now inaccessible, effectively non-existent. E-commerce, the global marketplace that never sleeps, is dead. The endless scroll of online shopping, the convenience of next-day delivery, all relics of a connected past. It's like an entire dimension of the economy has just been switched off. The impact isn't just on white-collar jobs or consumer habits. Factories, increasingly reliant on automated systems, on Internet of Things devices, on just-in-time supply chains managed through complex online logistics, begin to falter. Day 3. And this, I think, is where the abstract fear starts to morph into very concrete, very immediate problems, particularly around money. Banks, those pillars of financial stability, are crippled. So much of modern banking isn't about physical cash in vaults. It's about data, about digital ledgers, about instantaneous electronic transfers. Without the internet, they can't operate properly. Transactions, the lifeblood of any economy, halt. That digital tap and go payment you make for your coffee. Impossible. Paying your rent online, forget it. ATMs, which saw queues on day one, are now increasingly running out of actual physical cash. The logistics of replenishing them, often coordinated and tracked online, are in disarray. The cash people manage to withdraw is dwindling, and the ability to get more is vanishing. Suddenly, the concept of being cashless shifts from a modern convenience to a terrifying vulnerability. People can't pay their bills. They can't buy essentials with cards because the point of sale systems are, of course, offline. Chapter 4. Day 4. The deafening silence of severed connections. By day 4, the silence isn't just unsettling, it's becoming a defining characteristic of this new unplugged world. Our primary modes of instant communication, WhatsApp, email, Instagram, Signal, Telegram, all those platforms that knit together our social and professional lives are still offline. They are digital ghost towns filled with undelivered messages and unseen updates. The constant chatter, the endless stream of information and interaction that defined the 21st century has ceased. It's like a global conversation has been abruptly muted. People, out of necessity, revert to older, almost forgotten methods. SMS messages, if the cellular networks are still managing to function for basic text and calls without their internet reliant backbones, become precious. Landlines, those relics of a bygone era, still present in some homes and businesses, experience a sudden resurgence in importance. Imagine the strain on these older networks, suddenly burdened with the communication load of an entire internetless society. It's like trying to funnel a river through a garden hose. The impact on critical infrastructure is immense. Offices that relied on email and shared drives for workflow are in chaos. Hospitals, which increasingly use networked systems for patient records, scheduling, and even diagnostic equipment, face unimaginable challenges. Chapter 5, Day 5. A kind of strange calm, or perhaps resignation, might be settling over some part of the population. The initial panic has subsided, replaced by the dawning, unavoidable reality. This is the new normal, at least for now, and humans, if nothing else, are adaptable. So we start to see society shift, not by design, but by necessity. Analog skills, long dormant or relegated to hobbies, make a surprising comeback. People are actually reading physical maps, trying to remember how to triangulate their position based on street signs and landmarks. Writing checks, an almost archaic practice for many, becomes a viable, if cumbersome, way to conduct transactions where cash is scarce, but some level of trust or prior relationship exists. Face-to-face meetings, once often sidestepped for the efficiency of a video call or an email chain, become essential. There's a rediscovery of the nuance of in-person communication, the subtleties lost in digital translation. And for some, believe it or not, there's a sliver of relief. The relentless digital noise, the pressure to be constantly available, the anxiety of the ever-pinging notification, it's gone. Cafes, those that can still operate with cash and manage their supplies, might fill with actual conversations, not just the click-clack of keyboards. Libraries, repositories of physical knowledge could become vital community hubs, not just for books, but for information and human connection. Families, no longer retreating to individual screens after dinner, might actually eat together, talk to each other. Board games, gathering dust in cupboards, are rediscovered, replacing the endless scroll of social media feeds. There's a forced slowing down, a return to a different pace of life. But this analog renaissance, if we can call it that, comes at a tremendous cost. Chapter 6, Day 6. As we reach Day 6, the initial shock and the subsequent scramble for adaptation begin to coalesce into something new, improvisation, and the rise of informal systems. People are ingenious, especially when faced with necessity. The absence of the internet doesn't mean the desire for information, connection, or even commerce simply vanishes. It just means the methods have to change radically. Tech-savvy individuals, those who understand the nuts and bolts of networking, might start to build local, offline networks. Think mesh networks, ad hoc connections spanning a few blocks, allowing for limited, localized digital communication, a far cry from the global internet, but a lifeline nonetheless. Ham radio operators, often seen as hobbyists from a bygone era, suddenly become heroes. Their ability to communicate over long distances, independent of internet infrastructure, makes them invaluable for disseminating information, coordinating local efforts, or even just connecting disparate communities. They are the new broadcasters, their signals cutting through the digital silence. It's a testament to the enduring utility of older, more resilient technologies. Inevitably, black markets emerge. Where formal systems fail, informal ones rush to fill the void. Offline digital content, movies, music, software, news archives might be traded on USB drives, which become a strange new form of currency. Information itself becomes a valuable commodity, hoarded by some, bartered by others. A new shadow economy begins to form, operating outside the collapsed official structures, driven by demand and ingenuity. A new form of communication, or perhaps a resurgence of older forms, starts to take shape. Community notice boards, handwritten newsletters, runners carrying messages between neighborhoods. These become vital. Chapter 7, Day 7. A full week, 7 days without the internet. It feels like an eternity, a lifetime ago, when you could just Google a random thought or video call a friend across the ocean. By now, the world is a profoundly different place. Businesses, particularly those small to medium enterprises that couldn't weather the storm, are collapsing in droves. The economic devastation is widespread, and the long-term consequences are almost unimaginable. Supply chains are not just disrupted, many are broken beyond easy repair. The intricate global dance of commerce has stumbled, and the recovery will be a monumental task. But alongside this economic collapse, something else is happening. People are waking up in a way. The forced disconnection has, for some, been a revelation. They've seen what life is like without the constant barrage of digital stimuli, without the pressure of online performance, without the curated perfection of social media. They've reconnected with their local communities, with their families, with themselves in ways they hadn't realized were possible, or perhaps had forgotten. The silence, initially unsettling, may have become, for a few, a space for reflection. This leads to a fundamental tension. Some people, undoubtedly the majority, will be desperate for the old world to return. They want their jobs back, their conveniences back, their connections back. The internet is back, but something's different now. Are we more grateful, more cautious, or have we already gone back to the old habits? If the internet disappeared tomorrow, would you survive the blackout, or would it break you? Comment below. Subscribe for more mind-bending scenarios. And remember, in a world ruled by connection, disconnection might be the real power. So the lights are back on, digitally speaking. The global hum has returned.